Alright, everybody, welcome to episode 22. Who's that?
Mate, that's the main stain, mate.
Is that
Tommy Malloy.
Oh, it's Tommy Boy! Tom, I
Happening,
appreciate you
Tommy.
joining us tonight, mate.
No bother.
I love that we have to
Been a long time.
that he's there and thank him and that after we've already done it.
Here, see the best
Bother.
thing. People are fed up just hearing about us in the roundups, mate. So, what better to go and get one of the managers in the Premier League, mate, and get them in, mate, and get them on it.
I know. How you been getting on, Tommy?
Fine, thanks. Loving life down at Kilmarnock, so aye, not got a bad word to say about it. No regrets whatsoever. Right proper club, so aye. I've got night shift in there, so I've had better weekends.
Look, mate, you're nearly there. You're nearly there.
Commitment, mate. The commitment to PG and that girl, mate, coming on for his work.
That's it.
Anything to help.
Mate, that's how it works with PG and that. You just need to fit it in when you can.
Aye, I
Yeah,
hope people
the
don't know.
best it was, mate. Obviously, it was easier to get him on after your result yesterday.
Well,
Aye.
mate, you took the words out my mouth. I already agreed this with Paul before he scored yesterday, so I was coming on no matter what.
Right, let's get into it then. We'll start the Kelly Pie. I'm going to apologise if I've missed any games. I couldn't find much if there was many games on the Kelly Pie Cup. But the one that I've got, Maybole 3, Greenock 3, Greenock 1, 6-5 and penalties. That was Ian Nixon's first game in charge. Tommy, your old side, that's some result for him, going down there, particularly in a tough pitch.
Brilliant start. I sent him a big man a message last night, so I think their incentive going into that is they play winning now in the next run at home on Saturday. So listen, it's a brilliant start. You know what it's like as a new manager. The first thing you need is that first win into it to get it kind of monkey off your back. So no, brilliant, honestly. Delighted for them.
I've got to say how well done. I commented a lot before Diet came in at Rossvale and kind of had the wee blip with managers. Rossvale were always picking good managers. Greenock seemed to be doing the same because, Tam, when you were in there, you did a really good job. And then Doyley came in and done what I believe, under the circumstances, was a very good job.
Yep.
And now Nixon's came in, a really tough place to go because we know what it's like. We've all been down there. Even in the summer, it's horrible down there. That's a massive win for him to get that, particularly in his first game. So, really well done to him.
I says, Derek sent me a message. Derek's part of his backroom staff, and he was buzzing after it. He's like, I know why you love it back and all that. 'Cause I think he was in at the 20s at Beeve last year. And I says to him, see the way you have won that game? That's better than any doing you could have dished out. See that coming back for 3. Because he came back for 3-1 down and then they've won in penalties. So see what that will do for the dressing room and right for the get-go, the belief, and it gets the boys on side, man. It's a brilliant way for them to win, and congratulations to Nixon and the boys and that on the result.
Probably a good bus journey home as well from it. So,
But do you got a bus bit, Tommy?
aye, they would have like that. That's a bit too far for up here. Aye, they got a bus.
Even better then, mate.
Right, we'll move on to the Premier League. Talbot 1, Pollok 0, Beith 5, Rossvale 0, Ben's 4, Blantyre 1, Clydebank 2, Bonnet 1, Kilmarnock 5, Hurlford 0, Largs 2, Kilwinning 2, Troon 2, Cumnock 1. Tommy, we'll start with yourself, mate. I'm not going to lie, we've been, obviously it's kind of, we actually try and be nice for you because we're your mate. You've been doing a lot better, but you haven't been winning enough games. You've getting too many draws, which is looked like it was going to cause you some issues. Didn't expect that yesterday. That was against a good side. That is an absolute pumping against a good side.
Listen, Huddersfield's a team we all know how well Hendo does down there. But the win's been coming. I think that was yesterday's 6th game in a bounce. We've been up 1, we've been ahead. And the problem is, Paul, was going to get that second goal. I mean, it wasn't happening. A wee bit anxiety was maybe keeping in with us, the crowd, the players. But we get a second goal at a big time yesterday and then a third. And listen, Huddersfield backroom staff will not mind me saying it could have been, without being disrespectful, it could have been 8 or 9 yesterday. And it's probably one of them games which you don't get often, that you probably get after it and say every player that started yesterday was probably a 8 and 9 out of 10. And boys who come on done well. So it's a big win. I know it's people probably had to look twice when they seen the results coming in just with margin it. But
see, for you, Tommy, you're talking about anxiety and that coming in because we all know what it's like. We've all been there, played, managed. We all know what it feels like. How much of a part do you think that's played, and is it something that's affected you as your backroom staff? Or you have been like you've been going ahead and I don't know if we're going to be able to hold on here.
Do you know what it's been, Paul? The games we have been, the last 6 games we've been up 1-0. I think every one of them has been at half time. So what was happening is we were losing early goals at the start of the second half, and we were trying everything at half time. We were going out a bit earlier. I even says to Owen Arthurlie one week, go and give him a couple of runs. Just, you think everything, don't you? But you could feel it creeping in, and it was obviously our job to try and calm down and players down. But yesterday, I just hope that's out of the system now. It was just, it was creeping in, I'm being honest, and we've obviously got a big following and stuff as well on a Saturday. And they were probably feeling it as well, and so delighted for the fans yesterday, by the way, because they've stuck by us unbelievably since we went in there.
I think for the outside for me, Tommy, you can definitely see that the differences you've made since you've been in there. Do you know what I mean? You've picked up points, and he's a very hard to beat. You know what I mean? Even if he's only winning games, he's a drawing games. I think that it looks as if the fans are on side with what he's doing there now, I know.
No, honestly, Dak, I can't, and I'm not just saying this, I can't speak highly enough of punters after it, because you're getting mixed fame after the game, win, lose or drawing. There's been some days down there where things haven't went their way and they've got your back. They just want to see a passion, to be honest with you, for their players, because they're a close-knit community, obviously, and that's their Saturday, punters, you know what I mean? And all they want to see, maybe they weren't good enough to put on that jersey, and all they want to see is players gain everything they've got, and they'll accept that. Obviously, they want to win games, but they've been brilliant, and so is the committee and stuff. And as I say, it's just at the start of the show, when Paul asked us, there's not been 1 minute I've been doing anything thought, I wish I never done that. It's something that anybody who's ever got the opportunity should get involved with a club like that, because it's brilliant.
I think yesterday's been one of the ones where you have had that tremendous result. Blantyre and Bonneton and Rossvale all lost below you. Rossvale losing is good because it gives you a couple of points away from them. Sadly for you though, Cumbernauld won and Rob Roy won as well, which Rob Roy won, which kind of gives them a bit more momentum because they've been doing really well. You're 6 points away from safety. You probably got enough games. See if you can string 3 or 4 wins together, then you're in a position where it's no out with the realms of possibility you can stay up. But at the moment, it's kind of a wee bit of a task because you are having to chase the pack in front.
Yeah. What's not going in my favour, Paul, is the games we've played compared to other clubs. I think we've played like 4 and 5 more than.
You're on 28.
Aye. So listen, what we say is we drew with Rossvale 1 each last week, and we spoke after the game, and we just basically, players aren't stupid. Do you know what I mean? We admitted that it's going to take something out of the ordinary to stay up. So from here on in, 1 game at a time, and they're playing for contracts and they're playing for personal pride, and they're representing the club, and I think yesterday showed that. So as next stage will be Wednesday night away up in Lake, and before we even worry about beef on Saturday, it'll be just a game at a time and see where it takes us.
Let's be honest, that's got to be an easy 6 points for the next 2 games, isn't it? Right, moving on, talking about the Talbot. The Talbot doing Talbot things yesterday, beating Pollok 1-0. I listened a wee bit to Alan McClucky's interview after the game. I've not been able to watch anything because the missus was working the day, so I had to win. But apparently, Talbot were very comfortable, scored early, and basically just controlled the game for what Alan McClucky's saying. They're ridiculous. They just see it. They've not been having the best of spells recently. Dropped points in a couple of games, lost in the Scottish, granted to Hearts, but they just know how to win games when it matters.
I watched the highlights, and listen, it's only 5 minutes. It's hard to judge. You know what I mean? Talbot is after many chances, but just I think it was when we went into our club push yesterday. Somebody says to us, Talbot 1-1, and do you know what you're like? That's probably what you could have predicted. But when they need to win games, they win them. So it's probably going to go to the wire, but they're ruthless, aren't they, at what they do?
They're the best at it.
I think it's a big result. I'll be honest with you, I think there was more pressure obviously on Talbot yesterday because part of the games in Holland and that, so they've I think they've had to go and win the game, because I think if Pollok won, it would have gave them what a belief in, and they'd probably been the one that if they won they would have said, right, this could be our year. But they're still top of the league, they've still got the points in the board, but it's a big result. I think for what I've seen as well, man, quite a few bookings in that. I think it was a tasty old affair.
You'd expect that. That's the thing. If Pollok had won, they'd have been 14 points clear with Talbot having 5 games in hand. they 5 games become a lot more difficult when you're thinking we can't drop any points in them. But now they're 8 points behind with 5 games in hand, and you're like, they can afford to lose 2 games.
I think as well, Paul, and I might be wrong, I think before Pollok kick a ball again in the league, Talbot have got 2 games now. They play us on Wednesday and they play Troon on Saturday, so they're 2 points. They're catching up games already, do you know what I mean, this week. I'm positive that Pollok don't play on Wednesday and then have a cup game on Saturday.
See what I'm loving about the Premier League and how the Premier one and how the Premier Tap League and how it's panning out. Every game's a toughie because everybody's kind of got something to play for the now. Do you know what I mean? See because the 7 odd teams get down, then even the teams lower down in the league, they're all fighting for every point that they can get. The top teams are trying to Darvo, Talbot, Pollok are still trying to push for the league and stuff like that. So there's no easy games, you know, man.
Nah, definitely. You're right, Dak. Other than for me, Bonneton and Blantyre, everybody's got something to play for. I mean, whether it's a harder task that we're talking about there, everybody's got something to play for. But we'll move on because I'm conscious that Dam's got to get his work soon. Clydebank beating Bonneton 2-1. It doesn't sound like it's been overly convincing, but Clydebank needed that because they've had that tough run recently where they've lost games. And even though I was doing it a game last week, Pollok were a better side, but there wasn't a huge amount in it. And then the late goals against Annan were sore. Largs, who 2 each with Kilwinning, which is a good result. Kilwinning have been flying recently. Largs are one of the ones, I think they've been flying under the radar, picking up points here and there, and it's just putting a wee bit of pressure on the teams above them.
I think on that first on Clydebank, I seen Moff's chatting after the game, and I think he's had it spot on. It's like, didn't matter how they done it, they just had to get 3 points in the board, man, yesterday, and that's exactly what they've done. It might not have been pretty, but for them, it's a good 3 points. Sorry, Tommy. They've shown some character, lads. They're 2-0 down yesterday after the first 15 minutes, mate, and they've come back to 2 each. So as you say, Kilwinning have been doing very well. Guys, we're getting Kilwinning I mentioned this week, mate, not me.
Guys, don't be so sensitive, mate.
But no, it's been a tremendous comeback for lads. It shows character and all that, and the boys are fighting for everything. Walsall getting his goal again, not me. See the second half?
No, I've not seen anything, mate.
Do you see it, Tommy?
Aye, I did, aye.
The one that Colin Boyd put on, the one for the Kilwinning man. I
just watched the highlights, mate, game, and seen it.
The one that the wee trip up at half the ball.
Right, boys, you're dancing around it. Tell me what you think.
I think it's harsh. There's not been much in it, but to be honest with you, he's done it half the ball. He's done it right in front of the ref's face, man. He's left the ref, and probably an easy decision that he'd think to send him off. But if you see it, man, there's not been much contact. I think it was surely done it. I think he should get booked for diving, in my opinion, for that. but it was one of the ones where it's soft, but it's very stupid with the player decision making wise, not me.
Right, a big result for me is Troon. We've spoken about them a bit, where they're proper. They're the grey man. You're not seeing much about them, but they're going about their business really well, getting themselves some good wins. Kilmarnock are, I think Kilmarnock are getting into a position where they really need to start being careful, because that's another defeat for them after a couple of good results when against came in. They're getting sucked right into that. They're only 2 points clear of the relegation now, and they've played a couple games more, a bit similar to yourselves, Tam. They've played 27, so they've got teams that are 4 or 5 points behind them, but have got 4 games in hand. You know what I mean? They're under a wee bit of pressure, I think now.
It's I don't think anybody's taking anything for granted that they're safe. Like, you could probably look at Ben Bird and Troon and say that this should be all right, but I can guarantee that Paul and Dean, Paul at Ben Bird and Dean at Troon will be saying, no, we need this amount of points. And because it is a ruthless league, Paul, it's going back to what you were saying about Clydebank and Bonneton. Like, on paper, people think that's a given, but Bonneton are probably playing with a bit of freedom now, where that puts more pressure on Clydebank. And I bet you Moff's team talk yesterday was just win a game, and it doesn't matter about possession and blah blah blah. So no, they've had a good season, Clydebank, no matter how well they finish in the league anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah, Troon, mate. Troon for me, they're doing a great job down there. I think you're bang on, PG. They flew under the radar. We've not really gave them much coverage. To be honest with you, I know that of a few of the players that played in there, they're quality players, but for them, that's another top result and a big game for both clubs. And I think that Troon, man, they're just motoring on. I think, as I've said maybe before, they're looking higher up now to see who they can catch above rather than looking behind them. But I definitely agree with Tommy. They're still hinting inside, get a certain amount of points before we're safe. But what a job they've done down there, and the boys are doing really well.
Definitely, that same 10 points clear of safety. But looking at Largs, who are behind them, Largs have got 3 games in hand, but granted, you've got to go and win the games. We mentioned Benburb. We touched on there, very similar to Troon for me. Lovers has done a great job there. The fact that they're able to be reasonably comfortable, that's a kind of bit of doing, I think, for Gibby and doing it Bonnet. They just want the season to end. Going to finish on Beath, beating Rossville 5-0, since that's your opponents next week. Butch's got a good side down there and he's a good manager. I think that maybe he'd probably be, knowing Butch, I'd say he's probably been unhappy with how this season's been. He's not interested in being a mid-table team, but they do have the quality in there to go and beat the teams above them. They're a good side.
No, they're probably, I would always look before a season starts that Beef should be probably one of your top 4 or 5 clubs, just besides them and stuff. Might not get doing well, me saying that, by the way. But we played it, we've always played them on Saturday. We played them in our second league game, Charge again. We were up 1-0 in that game, but I think they're probably a team that you always know to take in off and you need to be right at it. But in regards to, they'll not get doing it anyway. I don't think there's any chance of that.
No, I think they've got. You all right?
By the way, TikTok on singing and all that.
Yeah, get the TikTok now. I think Butch has got a good mix of youth and experience here. I think see the boy Josh Fowler up front. He's had a good first season at it. You know what I mean? Seen him. I watched the highlights yesterday, and you get likes of wee Jamie Mackay and all that, and all they're all busy. You know what I mean? They'll all work hard for you, and then you get the class of Frizy and that too, and they've got Big Dale and goal, Larry and at the back and that. So they're a good side, Danny O'Neill and that. So they've got good players and that. It's a very good result because Roseville are still hinting that they had a wee opportunity there to stay up, but it's very, very difficult. Probably just a bridge too far from them.
Beef have probably got what every team would want. They've got somebody guaranteed to probably score 20 goals a season still.
And Kenny's still doing the damage, isn't he?
And I don't think nearly all teams can't see that, can they? But he probably guarantees them.
His record of the year has been insane, to be honest. Right, moving on to Conference A. Arthurlie 2, Maryhill 0, Girvan 1, Lesmahago 8, Shotts 7, Saltcoats 0. We'll start on Arthurlie. That was what really could have been a banana peel for them. That was a tough game. Maryhill have been doing really well.
A banana peel?
Is that what I said? A banana peel. You can fall on it. You can slip on it, right?
Tommy. I love, mate, that you're my side here, mate, and giving him it.
Tommy, I'm coming for you on Saturday, mate.
You get a banana peel on Saturday, mate. You know what it's came to.
That was the same thing, right? Maryhill missed what I would class as a sitter in the first minute yesterday, which changes the scope of the game. Arthurlie, after that, kind of saw it for me pretty well. They were, without being spectacular, they were a better side over the piece and deserved their win. I'd say they've got that bit of quality through the park. But I thought they were pretty well worthy of their win yesterday.
I think it was difficult conditions, probably from these teams, you know what I mean? Especially like Tommy and that will know his team played yesterday as well, but the conditions were tough, the park cut up. So as we say, the 3 points is the most important thing for Arthurlie at this stage of the season. It's maybe not too much about performance, it's all about what they've done on the park and the run they've put together is absolutely frightening, mate. And they had players out yesterday. I think Ross has done a brilliant job doing it at Maryhill, and they had their chances in the game. Let's not forget about that. But brilliant day down there, as we said on the wee vlog, mate. I thought Leyden started to control it, man. Especially when it went to 2-0, we started to make it the game simple. We Tamagotchi looked like a threat throughout the game, and you had the other boy Ralston and that and all looked quite bit of a threat too, and Zeb and that too. So good side Arthurlie, mate, and that was a big 3 points from yesterday, especially with Shotts keeping on their tail all the time.
I know. Well, mentioning is it the boy number 8 for Maryhill yesterday? Was it McIntyre? I think that's his name. Me and you both liked him, didn't we? We thought he was a decent.
Like the 8, mate. Like the 8 at Maryhill, mate. Good player, mate. But
he was good yesterday.
Maryhill got a few good players, young players, young team, mate. Ross is doing well there.
Definitely, that's them 19 wins out of 20 and 1 draw. I mean, granted, people say that their conference is possibly the easiest. No easy, but the easiest out of the 3. But even to do that in any league is such a big ask, man. They've been absolutely flying. Particularly when you say you're talking about Shots beating Saltcoats 7-0. It's another sore one for the boys doing it at Saltcoats. But Shots are a good side. I mean, they've lost, they've played 22, won 19, lost 3. I mean, in any other league, you're like, you go to fancy them to win that league now, you know what I mean? But
they're probably waiting Arthurlie to slap up eventually, and it's just not happening, is it?
No, it's no. It's not even like they need Arthurlie to capitulate. It's a couple of wee bad results here and there, and they're right back in it, but Arthurlie just aren't doing it. One of the committee said to us yesterday, they've played 28 games, won 27 and drawn 1. I mean, that's minuscule.
There should always be a Premier League team, you would think, Arthurlie as well, shouldn't they? And years gone by, talking the size and stuff. So, listen, I know Big John. I don't know people at Arthurlie, to be honest, but I've gone really well with John McCrone at Shots. But I think Arthurlie can. I would be surprised if they throw it away at this stage after what they've done.
See the big thing and all, but it just shows you how well Shots have done and all, because you heard a few Arthurlie ones saying, Harry won again, Shots won again, but obviously they would have knew probably that it was a good chance of happening. But they even acknowledged down there how well that they're getting pushed, because they know by their own standards how well they've done, but they know they're not running away with it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Shots are just grinding it out as well, and they're showing it they're a very good side under John Tate.
Still to play each other?
No. Yeah, Arthurlie beat Shots twice. So basically, you're looking at Shots. Take away the Arthurlie games, right? And obviously, they're the ones that really matter, obviously. But you take away the Arthurlie games, Shots have dropped 3 points out of a possible 60. You know what I mean? It's insane. And you're looking going, they're only going to win the league. Something I've got it before we move on for Arthurlie. Just want to thank them for yesterday. They were absolutely different class for the two of us down there. I mean, they couldn't have been more helpful for us. They were brilliant.
They got their money's worth out of us, mate. I was making the sandwiches, mate.
We were buying merchandise and you were making sandwiches.
So they've done all right, mate. They were brilliant. No, I can't thank them enough, and I've done it in social media, mate. We've spoken about it since the game, mate, so it's been brilliant.
I mentioned to Les Mahago, I know, 8-1 against Girvan, a team who were 3 points ahead of them. I didn't really have a massive look at it beforehand, but 8-1, that's a bit of a doing going down there as well. So well done to Les Mahago. Right, we'll move on to Conference B.
Mate, top result, mate. Any gone away from home and winning scoring 8 goals, mate.
I know, mate.
What a result for the Gow, mate.
Mate, it's a great result. Conference B, Carluke 0, Cambuslang 3, Gartcairn 3, Ardeer 2, St Cadoc's 4, Glasgow United 1, Cambuslang winning again. And another one. I mean, that's 21 games they've played, 19 wins, 2 defeats, and one of the defeats came in the first game of the season. So in 20 games, they've dropped 3 points, and they're having some season, man. That's another clean sheet as well. Their goalies been incredible this season. 13 goals they've conceded in 21 league games, which we all know at our level is ridiculous.
Perfect mix in it, Tommy. When you've got the firepower that they've got with wee Scotty and Anson and Gamer chipping in with goals, but they've also the amount of clean sheets in the goals against column. Do you know what I mean? That was comfortable for them.
We played against them in one of your last games in charge at Greenock, and do you know what I thought? To describe them, they're a right solid junior team or West of Scotland team. Like, they've got good players in big areas of the park. Your boy Stevenson, the middle of the park.
Good player, Tony.
Gemmill and Anson. When it gets to this stage of the season, they'll be dragging younger ones over the line. And obviously, going back to what we said about Kenny McLean scoring goals for Beefy Boy at Cambuslang, probably going to finish in 50 odd goals. Do you know what I mean? And the other end of the park, they're not conceding. So fair play to them, by the way, because
that's the thing where I mean, and I'll be quite open with it and say it. You look at Anson, Gemmill, Stevenson, they're not in the best condition of their life, but they've got a lot of quality. They've got a lot of experience. They'll be, like you said, Tommy, they'll be dragging boys through.
Aye.
They'll be very good at seeing games out because, I mean,
Yeah.
they've all played at good level. They're all cracking players. They'll be very, very important. And then you've got Williamson up front, who's just banging goals in for.
Listen, see their backroom staff and all been early piece, not mean as well. So you've got Billy and Paul who've been there, done it. They've been about, and then even how it likes having like Andy Gorham, not about your dressing room. Not I mean, it's just pure guys. Aye, unreal. Keegan Parker's there. Keegs is there. But
Is that it? I didn't know he was there.
He'll just keep talking about himself and scoring the winner at Wembley, mate, for Blackpool when they play our final, because that's all he done at Ashfield.
Gart Cairn beating Ardea 3-2, last minute winner. We've mentioned it where Ardea had quite a tough spell and then they've managed to get a couple of wins. Sean will be disappointed that they didn't get something for that yesterday. But Gart Cairn, they're another team who've got a lot of experience through their team and they just won't get results. And that's them now 2 points off. Granted, Cambuslang will get 3 games in hand, but they're 2 points away. Cambuslang are playing the Cup this weekend, so you could be looking at Gart Cairn going top of the league.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And it could put a wee bit of pressure on Cambuslang.
I think they've been tapped for ages, isn't they, Cambuslang? I would reckon. So you're right. Gart Cairn's probably team talk if that's the case on Saturdays. Go tap your league and get points in the back. It's the old saying. I watched Sean's interview today. I felt for him when I was watching his interview, by the way. I think Gart Cairn, it was injury time, the winner. But he's another one that deserves a lot of credit for what he's done down there. He's honestly on and off the park. He's a right good guy as well. We played him in one of your first games at Kilmarnock, and we beat him 9-0. And honestly, obviously you get after yourself, but there was a bit in me. I was gutted for the guy after the game, do you know what I mean? Because I know what he puts into it, but he's done brilliant. Ardea were, if it been disrespectful, lying at the bottom of junior football for years, and but he's put him back in the map anyway. So
he's done it with a lot of boys. I know he's got some boys that have played juniors and stuff, but he's done it with a lot of boys for amateur football who have kept up with him for I went blank. He's done it with a lot of boys who have come up, and that shows that he's a good manager because they've had a cracking season, even mid-table for them. I mean, how bad were Ardea before? Without it being disrespectful, if you went down to Ardea, you're like, well, I expect to take 5 or 6 off them here. Definitely not the case anymore.
Aye, and that's tough, mate, especially when they've shown the character to come back for 2-0 down at half time and then to lose it right in the death where it would have been a right good point for them. And the conditions up there would have been horrific because we know Gart Cairn's high up and all, man. We played there the week before. But it's a slow one from. But by the way, Gart Cairn are doing well.
I know they're definitely going about their business quite well. St Cadoc's, who the wheels in a sense kind of came off and their title challenge is all but gone. But Doyley again, another win. I mean, Doyley's record this year in terms of management, including Greenock and St Cadoc's, has been insane. It's been excellent, but he faces a different problem obviously now with Greenock. I think the committee are very forgiving as they know that they can't give you much time. You know this better than us. They can't give you a great deal, so you probably get a bit more time, which it looks like at St Cadoc's you don't get a massive amount of time, but they give you the backing, you know what I mean? So it's another good result because Glasgow United is always a tricky to beat.
You never know what you're getting against shit with Glasgow United. It's probably one of the games you're thinking, what are we going to come up against today? So
I think they're a bit like yourselves, Dak, to be honest with you. They could see if they go and beat one of the top teams, you're no surprised. Then they've got that wee bit of inconsistency in them where they drop points when you don't expect them to.
Boyd Dyke's getting a double again, PG, in a rainy day, mate.
Moving on to Conference C. Ardrossan 2, The Rock 2, Drum 3, Lanark 0, Perthshire 2, Wishaw 3, Kilsyth 2, Yoker 3, Vale Leaving 0, Petershill 1. The Drum getting themselves back on top spot after a 3-0 win against Lanark. Not hugely surprising that they've won, but that's a good result for them. I think they needed that yesterday.
Good to see them back in the duel.
I know, I saw that. I saw the picture.
I seen it. A right good league to watch for you outside that one, by the way.
That's a good one, Tommy, definitely, mate.
I wouldn't be surprised if actually I know a few Drumchapel players are from Greenock, but who I speak to, but I think that'll go right. That could go right to last
best
game
league,
off,
yeah.
the last day of the season.
Aye.
I know people are to guess who won it. How do you get? Do you know what I mean? It's Petershill have had a great season, but Chris Nielsen just maybe go under the radar a wee bit as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, for me, Petershill won 1-0 yesterday. They had a late winner against, or I think it was a late goal that sealed it for them against Lanark. They're kind of, without me being privy to it or seeing it, they're kind of scraping by in games now, which means that they might drop points eventually because they've had some insane run. But Nielsen, for me, they're the ones that I think a lot of credit goes to them, where they have proper gone under the radar. They've been winning a lot of games and then winning quite comfortably late as well, which means they're putting pressure on them. But I think this is going to be a great season.
It's gone to the death, I think, with Petershill, but Petershill are very strong defensively and all. They've not conceded many goals, you know what I mean?
I'm sure they all still play each other.
I think Nielsen and the Drum are playing each other in
soon.
2 weeks, is it? 2 weeks against each other? Which
I think one of them, I think 2 to 3 might play each other in the last game of the season or like in a second last, but honestly, I think it's just the way that's went. I think that'll go right to the wire. But you were saying earlier, Dak, asking about other scores, Arthurlie asking about shots. I can guarantee you M3 are coming in at full time and start the other two on it.
Paul's saying Maldine's going on the Twitter, innit?
It's a good league to watch from outside. And
definitely. I think the Rock, that's their chances of being able to win it gone. Definitely. It was always an outside chance. But I think dropping points to Ardrossan, that's them kind of, for me, that's their title hopes gone. They're now 15 points back. I think it's too much to pull back against 3 teams who are very good. But I think the Rock, a special mention goes to them after everything they've been through this year. The fact that they've been so good, you know what I mean, and so competitive. And the boys have been a credit to the club after what they've had to go through and still have a good season.
They'll have a big say probably where the league goes. Listen, see, sometimes, mate, we all love football and we all think it's our life, really, we do, just because of the way we are. But it's no life. See what they've had to deal with as a club and a community, man. The losses that they've had. It's very difficult, man, to focus on football all the time. And to be fair, they've done it really well. I just think that they've just run out of steam, maybe just not get quite as much as what the 3 above them have got. And listen, that's no disrespect. It's very difficult, know what I mean, under the fucking circumstances this season.
Are they not just about guaranteed playing the championship anyway next season?
They are 5 points clear of the Ants with 5 games in hand. They are 6 points clear of Wishaw with 2 games in hand. So you would like to think that they've got a right good chance of being in that championship next year. Owen Wishaw, another good win for Dunny, 3-2. They've been doing really well. That's 4 in the bounce. Mate, 4 in the bounce have won in the league.
See what I like, but they've won the game, but they gave their goalie a shout out, mate. Not many teams there, because their goalie Jordan, I think it's Hart, his name Jordan Hart, saved 2 penalties, mate. So it's a great result for him.
Was that Fife? Were they away to Kilsyth?
No, it was Yoker that was at Kilsyth. It was Perthshire they were away to, which again, the hard place to go. It was really difficult. Owen Yoker being away at Kilsyth, kind of strange going on with their management team leaving or possibly being pushed. I don't know. Apparently, they found out through the message that they put out that they'd announced a new manager, but I don't know if that's true or no. But for the new management team, that's a good start because Kilsyth's a hard place to go, and it's a good win for Yoker. I mean, the thing is, Yoker have probably had a poor season for what they would hope for. But it's not exactly been a horrendous season either. They're not finishing in the bottom.
Still in the Scottish Cup, mate, quarterfinals.
Exactly. I know, either a decent side. I think I always feel like they get overlooked and stuff because they share with Clydebank and it kind of people do overlook them.
Who got the job?
What's that?
Who got that job, Yoker?
A boy Gordon, but I don't really know. To be honest with you, Tommy, I don't really know much about the guy, and I don't really know too much to be honest with you. But surprised, I thought the boys maybe they've not been quite having the season that they wanted in the league, but in the cup and that they've done well and they've pulled out a couple of good results and they've got some good players. They actually play good football and all.
Aye, decent team. Moving on to Division 4, Finnart 4, BSC 1, St Peters 2, Harthill 0. Finnart all but won the league for me now. I mean, I know they've still got Kilsyth to play, so it isn't done yet, but that's them 4 points clear with 2 games to go. All they need today is draw with Kilsyth, and it's guaranteed. And I think Kilsyth are a good young side, but I think Finnart are a wee touch better than them.
Is that our next game?
No, I think that might be the last game of the season for the two of them. So
as a neutral, you would like it to go to that last game where the both of them get a chance of winning the league. Do you know what I mean? For a neutral, but for Brian and Finnart, man, they'll want it dealt with, man, before that. Do you know what I mean?
I know. And then you've got St Peters winning 2-0 yesterday. That takes us into third place, 2 points clear of Harmony Row, 3 games in hand. See, to be fair, I'd say I spoke to wee Eric Taylor, who does a lot of the social media stuff for us. I spoke to him yesterday, I bumped into him. See, if somebody had said to us at the start of the year, you'll get third place, we'd have took it. I mean, obviously you want to win, but you'd have been like, first year, we're one of the teams who have completely put a new side together. You'd attain that, so it's been pretty good. Tommy, what's your view on the Division 4? How can I close an eye?
I keep an eye on it, Paul. We're fucking no big time about us at Kilmarnock. We keep an eye on everything. And I know it was last week, funny enough, I noticed the 2 teams at the top, there's only 2 points between them this time last week, I think, maybe. So I think going back to what you're saying, Paul, just getting in and finding your feet in the first year and seeing if it's going to be third year set up and stuff. And I'm not going to say league positions don't matter, but in the first year in that league, but it's good to see the fresh teams as well coming up. And Dax just touched on it. There's a possibility that league could go to wire as well, which is good for that, because I think people would maybe lose a bit of interest if it was new clubs and one names run away with it. Do you know what I mean? And so no, but we did. I keep an eye on that league as well. So no, good luck to them.
What do you think, Dak, about this season then with the 4th division being a bit of a success, do you think, with the teams?
Mate, I think it's been a success, and I think if you look at some of the cup results, albeit they've not took very many scalps in the higher leagues, but they've been very competitive, mate. And I think Tommy's bang on what he's saying, mate. None of the teams have ran away with the league. It's competitive, it's good to watch. It's teams have got better as it went on. So the likes of a lot of teams are going to be better for the year's experience, and they kind of know roughly what the level's all about. So they'll go out and do the business in the summer. But it's been a good addition, mate. It's been a good addition, and it gives us something extra to talk about, mate.
Exactly. Well, that's us wrapping that up for this week.
See before we go, right? I know Tommy's rushed for time.
I'm all right, honestly, I'm fine now, mate. I've got another 20 minutes.
Have you? I see you keep turning round, mate. I don't know if you're looking for that train, mate. The train coming.
I'm checking the scores.
Yeah, it's a wee bit off topic, but the boy Menzies, mate, was Luger's goalie, and he's fucking playing darts now, mate. He just beat Gelvin today, Van Gelvin, mate.
He follows us on Twitter. I was wondering who it was, because I seen
he's left game. Played for Luger this season, I think, and he was a goalie, but he's had to chuck it because he's ended up getting his pro card for the old darts, mate, and he's ended up just beating Van Gelvin there, mate.
That's class. Well,
do you know the boy who plays with us, Graham Muir? Yeah.
Aye.
He's one of his best pals, the boy Menzies.
Is he?
Darts, aye.
Is it Cameron? I think his name's Cameron Menzies or something. I want to give him a shout because I know it's not him, but if he's a West Scotland ex-junior boy, mate, then brilliant to see him strutting his stuff on the hockey, mate.
Definitely, that's class, man. Tommy, for finishing up, what's your thoughts on the big derby next week?
Go
on.
Well, I'm going to need to say that we're concentrating on Wednesday first, aren't I
don't know. You're playing a wee Diddy team on Wednesday.
But once Wednesday's out of the way, again, I think it was after camera says to Dak, it's this week alone, and next week for us is walking like away and beef at home. It's games you want to be involved in, to be honest with you. Half the reason we went down there when we got offered it was to be involved in big games, and they're not going to come much bigger at our level. They're going to Talbot and beef at home next Saturday. Place will be rammed next Saturday, and hopefully give fans something to cheer about getting into their work on Monday.
That's it, man. You've got PG and Dak coming down next week, I know.
Yeah. I've got an announcement, mate. Maxie's arranged a friendly for next week.
Well, that's all the best to Maxie next weekend.
I mean, I can't believe it, mate. But I'll be
Too
there,
early
mate.
kick-off.
It's a early kick-off. It's a 12 kick-off, mate. I'll be doing, but I'll probably be doing for kick-off, mate.
So we'll make sure we'll put a picture up of him in the turnstile, and that's where the boy at the door knows who he is and lets him in, right?
You know what, Army? I'm suspended next week from the touchline.
Honestly?
It's the PG and Tommy Real Football podcast next week.
So I'm banned. I'll not say it's justified, but I'll need to watch what I'm saying. So I'm banned, and I never knew the rules were that you're not even allowed in the dressing room. So
Are you allowed in the park, obviously?
You're allowed in the park, but again, there's a rule that you're not allowed 30 metres from the dugout, mate. So
I'll bring my measuring tape.
I'm going to. It's the last game in the world I don't want to be in the dressing room for, but it is what it is.
Mate, you got to Jose Mourinho, mate. Just go into the wee kick box, mate. You know what I mean?
But it's one of them things. It's obviously officials can get booked now, so I've been booked too many times. And somebody get mentioned about a water bottle that I don't know in about as well. So
I was talking to Tommy the other day, right? And I was like, he said to his I'm suspended for next week. I was like, what did you do? Oh, and he kind of gave me the watered down version, no pun intended. And I was like, Tommy, remember, I know you, mate. It's like, I know what you're like, mate. I know that you probably have done more than you're telling us.
Mate, you can't even look at it straight in the eye, mate. Fucking Zoom call, mate.
It's only a one-game ban, so it couldn't have been that bad. No. But so next week I'm not allowed. Basically, I'm a punter next week.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Tommy. Right, here's a thing for you. See if PG comes and sticks a whole camera in your face, you're going to want to talk, or do you want to keep the distance till the game's done?
We'll see what the score is at half time.
Right, well, that's us. We'll finish up there. Going to have to apologise to everybody. We were supposed to be recording an episode earlier, or the end of, as it been last week for when this is it. Sadly, due to certain family issues for our guests, we couldn't get it done. So there won't be an episode on Wednesday. But we've got this out today, obviously, and we'll have the Beath, or the Kilmarnock Beath episode out next week as well. And then we should be in the studio next Tuesday recording. So we'll be back to normal after that, hopefully. But we appreciate all your support, Ali. It's been brilliant, man.
The vlogs, mate, the vlogs have been doing well, mate, and I think that's something that we'll hopefully keep up, man, and just let us know any feedback. We're going to try and get a couple of mics. I'm putting out there, somebody might have sponsored us for a couple of mics on our travels, mate. You know what I mean? So
no, we need all the help we can get. People are just a couple of poor wee people who have lost their hair.
But big Tommy boy, what a guy, man.
Cheers for coming. I appreciate you coming on, mate.
Hopefully 2 years are doing next week. It's going to possibly be an eye-opener for these that game next week, because they're interesting fixtures.
Tommy,
I would love to
get my poor Greenock down.
I forgot Paul used to play with Auckland Lex, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, see the thing is, Tommy, man, I'm made pals with you, and I'm pals with Butch and all, so it would be good to get down there as a neutral and see the game, mate. But I'd love to get in about the fans and both sides, because I think it will be a very, very good atmosphere and it'll be a good game. But yeah, bang on, Tommy, we've got big fixtures on Wednesday night in the leagues. Best of luck to the teams there. I'm sure we'll probably touch on it next Sunday a wee bit if there's any stick-out results.
Definitely. Tommy, thanks for coming on, mate.
Tommy, what a guy, Tommy.
Cheers, mate. Everybody have a good week. Thanks for watching.